All right, so remember sorry, I am recording. But if you need to come on, ask a question. If you don't hear me, if I'm cutting out, please feel free to unmute yourself. Or I have the chat open in this class so I can see the chat. Feel free to do so in the chat instead. And I'll just edit out, if you pop on, I'll just edit that part out of the video. Let's start lying down. Any comfortable position for you. So if you want to, you can always lie with maybe some pillows or rolled up blanket underneath your knees. Just find something that is comfortable for you in your body. All right. So from here, I invite you to take deep inhales in through your nose into your diaphragm and long, slow exhales out. Sorry about that. My brain just said, slow down. So deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm. Allow it to fill as much as you can. And then release all the air. Let it all go. Maybe you make a noise, a sigh as you release it. Whatever helps you to let it go and to maybe let go of any thoughts that are going on in your mind that you don't need during our time here together. With every exhale, maybe you relax your body a little bit more, sink and settle into the earth. So, our next full moon is on Saturday. It's the snow moon. Um, so, the full moon or the few days leading up to it is a good time to release anything that we no longer need, that no longer serves us, that no longer makes us happy. So, maybe this is a good time to let something go that you've been wanting to release, or maybe it's just letting go of tension. Maybe that's your practice. Softening around your eyes, softening in your jaw, allowing the shoulders and the hips to sink and settle into the earth. With every exhale, releasing just a little bit more. So remember, this is your class. Only do what's comfortable. If you need to, let me know if something doesn't feel good. We can make some adjustments. And if I share anything during our class today that doesn't resonate with you, feel free to allow my words to pass by and just come back to your breath. So, taking 3 more rounds of breath here, with your last exhale being the longest and fullest. And then, once that's complete for you, making some small movements in your body, whatever your body is asking for. Okay, and then slowly rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently coming up to seated. Okay, our first pose is a twist. You can take whichever twist feels comfortable for you. I will first show how to set up Santosha Twist. If you've done it before, you have the props in order to do it. Feel free to come into that if that's something you enjoy. So you're going to set up so that you create like a ramp, and then whatever props you have, that prop at the back is higher than the one in the front. Mhm. Ta-da! And then placing your other prop, whether it's big pillow or whatever it may be, on top. All right, so our Santosha twist, we'll start with right hip up against the right side. If you have a blanket, maybe the blanket goes between the thighs. So hang tight if you're waiting for the other twist. In the Santosha twist, hands come to the sides of the ramp. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to turn towards the ramp, and then walking the hands out. Head comes down any direction that feels good for you. And notice if this left hand is hovering and it doesn't feel comfortable, or I mean the left elbow, feel free to grab a pillow or some blankets, folded up blankets to place underneath that forearm. Okay. So, our twist on the earth, we're going to lie down on our backs. We're going to place maybe a couple of pillows over towards the right side. So that's where that right knee is going to fall. If you have any other pillows or blocks and you want to bring them with you to place between the knees for a little bit of comfort, you can do that as well. All right. So when you come into this pose, if you need to, you can always create your stack higher on that right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our feet on the earth, knees are bent, shift your hips over towards the left side, place them down. Sorry, not arms, knees strap over towards that right side. Again, if you need, find more props under there. And maybe you find a pillow or a block to place between the knees or between the thighs. Arms come out to the sides, maybe in a T shape, maybe cactus arms. So it might take a little bit of adjusting, playing around with your props to find a comfortable place. So we want just a gentle twist. Also, for the chest, if arms in a T is too much, you can always bring the arms down by your sides. All right, deep inhales in through your nose, long, slow exhales. Notice if it feels like you're trying to hold yourself up somehow. Relax, soften, let the earth receive your body and hold you. With every exhale, softening maybe just a little bit more. So I invite you to picture the full moon. Notice the color. Notice how close or far your moon is, depending on where you see it in the sky. Mhm. I guess where maybe you feel like it is. Now imagine a powerful white and silver light beaming down from the moon into your crown, the crown of your head. This light has a pure, calm, and loving energy that soaks through your entire being, filling you with light. Imagine it going through your head, into your eyes, your nose, your mouth. The light spreads to your ears, the back of your head. This pure, calm, and loving energy continues to soak into your body, into your whole being, moving into your neck, shoulders, and arms. Feel this loving energy in your chest and your back. Watch it spread to your hips, legs, and feet, filling you with light. And taking 3 more rounds of breath with your last exhale. being the longest and slowest, the longest and fullest. And then making some small movements in your fingers and toes. If you're in the Santosha Twist, use your arms to help you walk back up to seated. And then turn yourself around so the left hip is up against your ramp. If you're lying in a twist, gently bringing your knees back to center, maybe removing the props from between your knees. And it's up to you. You can come up to seated to move your blankets or whatever you're using to place your knees on, or if you're able to pick it up and move it over, feel free to do it. Whatever works. So, Santosha Twist. Left hip is up against the left side or against the ramp. Oh, it's a good evening for words today. Hands to the sides of the ramp. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to turn, and then walking the hands forward. Head turns in any direction. The twist on your back. Knees are bent, feet are on the earth. Shifting your hips over towards the right side of your mat and placing them down. Knees drop to the left. Maybe you place something between the knees or the thighs. Arms come out to the sides or wherever it feels good. Notice each side is different. Notice how this side feels compared to the other side. Is it easier, or maybe the side's a little stiff? And there's no judgment. We're just noticing. Honoring your body where it is today and making any adjustments that you need. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Returning to that white and silver light beaming down from the moon, spreading through your entire body and your entire being, filling you with pure, calm, and loving energy. Staying with this light, this sensation, or maybe bring to mind that which you no longer want in your life. The things you wish to release that no longer serve you. the things that are in your control that you can release. Allow them to linger for a moment in your mind's eye. If you like, you could visualize them as a color or an object. And then saying to yourself, I release you under the light of this full moon. I no longer need what does not serve or empower me. I release you under the light of this full moon. I no longer need what does not serve or empower me. Imagine each of these things, habits, people, behaviors, or thought patterns that you wish to release disappearing into the full, powerful light of this moon. See them dissolve, consumed, floating away into the infinite light of pure goodness. Gently bringing your awareness back into the room, making small movements in your fingers and toes. If you're in the Santosha Twist, using your hands to help you slowly come back to seated. If you're in the lying twist, gently bringing your knees back to center and repositioning your back flat on the earth. And then we're all going to make our way to seated. Okay. So in this pose, I just realized I have the thickest blanket I own for this pose. That's okay. I'll show you what to do if it's too thick. All right. In this pose, we're going to create a long tube that's going to go on the earth. It's going to go from at least your tailbone to the top of your head, if not longer. So you're going to make this tube not too thick because it's going to go run down the middle, like run down your spine, basically. So maybe you just roll a little bit and then just place that part of the roll on the earth. All right. And then we want to have it so that when we come down onto the floor, again, biggest blanket I own. When you come down onto the floor, it's going to come behind you along your spine. Your head's going to rest on it. And then what we're going to do before we come down is grab a couple blocks or a couple pillows or something just in case you need them underneath. You're going to put one on either side where you can reach them. Okay, so once you have yourself all set up here, you're going to come right up against that blanket roll, and then you're going to lay down on top of it. So you have a choice. Arms can come down by your sides, in a T, in cactus arms, whatever feels good. If this is too much of an opening for you, you can do the other half of this pose without the blanket underneath you. Just come down onto the floor. All right. And then personally, I like to shimmy myself up so that my tailbone is right on the blanket. Okay. So we're going to find, this is a Recline Goddess. So we're going to bring our feet wide on the mat. So about mat distance apart. Then we're going to turn our toes out towards the sides. You're going to activate your feet. So curl back your toes, grab a hold of those props if you have them beside you, and then you're going to allow your knees to drop open. So notice if this feels like it's too much, you can grab your props and place them, depending on how far you come over, place them maybe where the hip meets the upper leg. All right. And you also have the option to maybe walk your feet down your mat a little bit, release a little bit of tension between the thighs. And again, wherever the arms feel good. So cactus arms is ideal, but if that's not in your body today, then that's okay. So are you able to sink and settle here into this pose, or is your roll too thick? If it is, this is a great opportunity to come out and maybe unroll your blanket a little bit and then come back down. And just remember, you're not stuck in any pose. You make adjustments if you need to. If your legs have had enough, you can always bring your feet wide on the mat, knees together. Maybe you'd rather find a reclined butterfly, feet together, knees apart. Again, options for something to come under or by the hip or under the knees. So this is your practice. Find what feels good for you and your body. Exhaling, softening. Releasing any tension you feel. Allowing your shoulders to sink and settle. Releasing any sensation that you may have that you're trying to hold your legs up somehow. Let them soften. Returning to that light from the moon. Is there anything that's still there that you wish to release? Imagine these things being released into the light of the moon. See them dissolve and float away. And if you wish, maybe you can follow my words here and release the things that I suggest. Maybe you say to yourself, I release unworthiness. I release unworthiness. I release doubt. I release doubt. I release fear and anger. I release fear. I release anger. I release resentment. I release resentment. I release judgment. I release judgment. I release relationships that do not serve me. I release relationships that do not serve me. I release toxic situations. I release toxic situations. Visualize releasing these things from your life and allow them to be consumed by the powerful light of the silvery moon and its deep cleansing abilities. Feel the weight of each burden released. Maybe your body starts to feel a little lighter as you relax and let go. And last, maybe you repeat the following to yourself. Under the light of this moon, I release you from my life with love. I forgive you and I forgive myself for past mistakes. Thank you for the lessons. And now I release you. Feel yourself lifted and renewed as the toxic weight of all that you have released disappears. All right. If your legs are out in goddess, activating your feet, bringing your knees back up to center. If you're in a reclined butterfly, knees come back to center, or maybe you stretch your legs long. And to come out of this pose, if it's comfortable for you, extending one arm long and then rolling over onto that side, roll off of your blanket. And then gently making your way up to seated. All right, our last pose before Shavasana is a supported bridge. So, the supported bridge, you can use a block, folded blanket, a couple of like stiffer kind of pillows. We don't want too soft. We want something to support us, a bolster, whatever you have. Okay. So, in our supported bridge, we're going to come down onto the earth once again. Bring whatever it is with you, whatever your prop's going to be. Feet come to the earth, knees are bent. Okay. And then, whenever you're ready, pushing your feet into the earth, lift your hips, slide the prop underneath. We want it so that it's not in the low back. We want it below there. So maybe supporting, I guess it's supporting the sacrum, maybe even supporting the tailbone. And you may need to adjust it a little bit to find that perfect spot, something that's comfortable for your low back. And then it's up to you. Feet can come wide, knees can come together. If it's in your body, maybe you extend one leg long, feeling a stretch along the front of the hips. As we do this, sometimes we have to adjust that block underneath us. Maybe both legs come long. I'm just going to stay here. All right, arms come out wherever's comfortable for you. Some people even enjoy bringing arms up and back behind fingernails to the earth. So, again, remember you're not stuck in this pose if you need to come out early. Feet come to the earth. Pushing your feet into the earth, lift your hips to remove your prop. And then come down nice and slow and allow your back to adjust to the earth before you make any other movements. So we're here for about 5 minutes. in this pose. So, not as long as the others. Sinking and settling here. Releasing the tension that you may be holding in your hips. Bringing your awareness back to that light coming from the moon in through your crown, into your body. Allow this light that is pure, calm, and loving energy to soak through your entire being. You now focus your mind towards a feeling of gratitude. Feel deep appreciation for all that you have and all that is yet to come in your life. So, with this opportunity to release the things that are in your way in life, that's no longer needed, it's no longer serving you, you make space for when the new moon comes around, when we can set our intentions for the month to come. So, in a way, it's our opportunity to clear a path for our future. And if you wish, maybe you say to yourself, I welcome all that is now coming to me for my highest good. I look forward to the clarity, peace, love, abundance, and positivity that are heading my way. I give thanks for all that I have received and rejoice in their wonder. I'll say that again. I welcome all that is now coming to me for my highest good. I look forward to the clarity, peace, love, abundance, and positivity that are heading my way. I give thanks for all that I have received and rejoice in their wonder. All right, so making some small movements in your fingers and toes. Feet come to the earth, knees are bent, feet are hip distance apart. Pushing your feet into the earth, lifting your hips, removing your prop, and gently allowing your back to come down to the earth. If you feel tension in your low back, maybe feet come wide on the mat and you windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And then in your own time, in your own way, finding Shavasana or any final resting pose that feels right for you. So as you settle here onto the earth, perhaps you breathe comfortably, basking in the glow of knowing your intentions will be made and manifested. Feel them now as if you are, let me try that again. Feel them now as if they already are present in your life. Staying here as long as you need in this sensation of gratitude and appreciation. If this does not apply to you, ignore my words. Nancy and Michael, it's 7:51. Gently bringing your awareness back into the room. Making any small movements that your body is asking for. Maybe those small movements become bigger movements. And then in your own time, rolling over to one side. And then gently making your way up to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm. As you exhale, release anything that's still there that you don't need, that's standing in your way, that no longer serves you. And know that it may not go the first time, the first 10 times, the first however many times, but it will go when it's time. May you go in peace, love, and gratitude. Thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful evening.